Alright, guys, welcome back to the Hooligan Hangout. This week's movie review, we're reviewing Equalizer 3, the sort of the end of the little trilogy we got going on. Directed
Oh
by
yeah.
Antoine Fuqua, starring Denzel Washington, Dakota Fanning, and David Denman. Little plot synopsis, in case you don't know. Since giving up his life as a government assassin, Robert McCall finds solace in serving justice on behalf of the oppressed. Now living in southern Italy, he soon discovers his new friends are under the control of local crime bosses. As events turn deadly, McCall becomes their protector by taking on the mafia. what a what a synopsis, if I do say so myself. But this is non-spoiler. We don't think this really warrants much to say. It's not too. It's not. I wouldn't say it's basic, but it's not too like complicated of a movie. So, Anthony, where do you want to start with our cons?
Uh, so I don't. I didn't think this. I think the story was good. I mean, it was good, but it definitely wasn't something that held my interest, and that is my biggest con. Is I was just wasn't that interested in the story and the plot line. The action was great, the acting was great, but I wasn't that interested. I feel like I could have taken an hour long pee break and come back just fine.
I I agree, but the first half of the movie was really slow.
Yeah, so slow. It
I
was
think
very.
they're going for like a slow burn, and this isn't a spoiler because if you read the synopsis and just like what's going on, he's basically like he's older. Like I said, end of the trilogy. He's trying to go into retirement, you know.
Yeah,
And so the movie really, really focuses on his retirement.
a lot. Yeah, and I get it. I understand, but it just wasn't necessary.
I understand, and there's a lot of like obviously he's going to get some mob bosses. There's a lot of build up to the people he's with and like in the village and like how they're being oppressed by these mob bosses and being taken advantage of, and that is kind of built up with like every single event that they do,
Yeah,
every like bad thing they do to these villagers until obviously he's fed up with it, but it's just so slow. But it's so slow, and to me, it just feels like this movie could have been really an hour and a half, maybe if they wanted it to be.
yeah. No, I
I get
agree.
what they're I
Well, I
get what
mean,
they're
how long
doing
was it?
though.
It was an hour and 45, right?
It was like an hour 50, almost two. Which, like I said, I get what they're going for. I don't think it's the greatest thing in the world, the direction
Yeah,
they went. But like, and this isn't really like a complaint, but you got to admit, for an action movie, it only really had like 3 or 4 action scenes.
yeah. It did, but I will say the action scenes were incredible. I mean, they were fantastic. I think
he's Dude, he's such a badass.
he
Which
is.
this is a con, not necessarily for the movie too, but like for
So I'm gonna.
the character, really everything. He feels so overpowered, bro. Like you just know he's gonna win.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's no like consequence. There's no like greater obstacle for him. You just know he's gonna win.
It reminded me a lot of like a John Wick type movie, and same
Yeah,
kind of character esque.
yeah. I
But yeah, I loved it.
I'd say this character. I'd say this character isn't as like broken. He's in
Yeah.
this very, and it explores like this
Well,
very very morally gray area. Like he doesn't really know if he's good or bad. If he's
right.
what he's doing is helping people.
And I actually I like that too. This kind of internal struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I did appreciate that. I wouldn't say he's not broken though. He is a little bit. Just the way he can calculate every move and everything.
A little bit, maybe hot takey, but from what I see from John Wick, I think John Wick is like has a little bit more trauma,
Yeah.
just from what I've seen.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. But dang, I feel like I'm mixing my pros and cons here.
You're good.
The other really con I did have is, and again, I'm not talking about acting because acting was incredible from everyone, especially Denzel Washington. Like,
Denzel's always good.
yeah, he's a pro. But and even the side characters. But I also didn't feel much connection to the side characters at all. Now, it could have been because I didn't watch the first and second movie. I don't know if that's where a lot of the development took place, but I just, I just feel like they were kind of there. I mean, they did a lot during the movie, but I just didn't feel connected to them.
Well, this is a whole new setting though for the third movie, so yeah, they could have done a better job. I think that's what they were trying to do by making the first half of the film pretty slow. Was trying to help you grow and develop with all these characters that he's meeting, and his character develops with those characters. But I feel like as an audience, me personally, I feel like I didn't develop with those characters,
Right,
and connect with them.
right.
But he did. He showed how much he really cared for the people, his people in that community, which is really cool.
And he also, even though I haven't seen the first and second movies, I could see the character development just in this one movie of, what's his name? He has a weird name.
Robert McCall.
McCall. Yeah. You could really see the character development of McCall in this one movie. Because by the end of the movie, he kind of has a different outlook than he did at the beginning of the movie. He kind of knows his place. He knows where he's at now. Before, like you said, it was kind of in the gray area,
Yeah.
So I did appreciate that too.
Yeah. That's kind of spoilery. I'm not going to say that, but I think that's really all I have for cons. Besides, like, the villains being kind of like generic, and
yeah,
they were dangerous, but they came in pretty late, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
what I still, I guess, never really grasped the full motive. Like, what was? I don't know. I guess I can't say much without spoiling it, but it just feels, to me personally, I didn't think the motive was there. What do you think of the villains?
oh, the villains.
Yes.
They were just mob boss bullies, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say the hero. I was like, what? But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I got for cons.
Pros?
I thought the score was amazing too. The music. I don't know if you noticed that, but
yeah, it was real kind of eerie.
yeah,
Especially
I don't
during, like,
usually
some more
notice
intense
that kind of
scenes.
stuff, especially the way that I watch them. But I
Yeah.
did notice it this time.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is he is the equalizer. Like, he radiates like that, like, I'm him kind of energy.
Dude, he is. He is him.
It's so funny.
He's that
It's
guy.
so funny.
Yeah.
He's so teetotal. He's literally like, beep. All right, you got 60 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he times it and everything, bro.
9
It's so
seconds.
funny. And he's literally held at gunpoint, and he's like, all right, you got 10 seconds before I kill you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, bro, it's so funny. And like we said in the beginning, when it feels like not much action happens, but when it happens, it's pretty crazy.
It's good. Yeah.
It's crazy. I wouldn't put it like John Wick level choreography and like craziness, but it's pretty good for a modern
A little
action
more
movie.
grounded.
It's more, yeah, it's a good word for it. It's a little more grounded. I was gonna say there's a little more gory, but I'd put it on the same level. So
It was gory too, though. It was slasher-esque in a way.
I won't tell you the type of kills there were in it, but yeah, it's pretty gory. And I think, like we've already mentioned, I mean, the actors did an incredible job. I don't know. It seemed like they filmed on location somewhere in Italy, it's in Sicily. So it just, because I've always wanted to go to Italy, so it just makes me want to go to Italy more. Architecture is just amazing over there.
Yeah.
And even the, like,
did they film it all in Italy?
I'm assuming most of it in like southern Italy or something, but
Dang, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know if this is the end for the Equalizer, but if it is, then
I think it
I wouldn't
is.
mind another movie. I wouldn't mind another movie.
Yeah. I
But
don't
I
know.
can
I think
see
it's
how it
the
is.
end. Because this definitely could be the end if they wanted it to be. Like it.
It'd be
Good.
it'd be cool if they made a movie with Denzel's son, like playing a younger version
Yeah,
of
I was
himself.
thinking that.
That'd be
Like
pretty cool.
the Equalizer 4 is his son.
It's gonna be the multiplier.
That's funny.
Funny joke. But that's all I got, unless you got something else.
I just got it. The Equalizer, the Multiplier.
But that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I got. Just overall, it was a good movie. It was fun to watch. The story was there, just not super compelling, and then draw
Yeah.
you in. But
Yeah,
I mean, it was still there. If you liked the first two movies, you'll definitely like this movie too.
I agree, and it is his story though. Like it is about him.
Yeah, it is.
So Anthony, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, this is mostly based on the critiques of the story, but I'm gonna give this movie a 5.5.
Wow. What?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty low.
It's not that compelling,
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
and when you put it in the grand scheme of like John Wick isn't that complicated of a story, but its action is so incredible to the genre. That's why it's such a great
Right.
action movie.
Right.
This movie has great action, but it's not like tip top of the mountain. And then you
Right.
combine that with it's not. I wouldn't say it's basic, but it's more like it's not a compelling story. Then
Hey, you know what?
I don't think it should get all the brownie points.
I think you are definitely going to disagree with me on this. I think many people will, so it's kind of a hot take, but this movie reminded me a lot of Blade.
So with Blade, I feel like I could see that because it's kind of like the way it's shot is kind of like a 2000s action movie sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Exactly.
can see that. I can see that comparison.
And just a little bit of, I can just kind of see it on this character too, kind of the way he fights and just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But my rating, I was gonna give it, I'll just stick with it. I guess a 7. I mean,
Solid.
wait, yeah, I'll stick with the 7, but I may change that later when I go back through the movies we have reviewed in the past and compare those scores.
You don't need to do that. I think 7's solid.
I'll stick with the 7 for now.
Okay. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Leave any reviews